Today we're going to learn about teamwork. When you're part of a team, you stand up for your teammates, your loyalty is to them, you protect them through good and bad because they do the same for you. So a team is a collection of individuals, each with his or her own expertise, brought together to benefit a common goal. Teams are often comprised of people who do not know each other and must work hard to develop productive working relationships despite personal differences and cultural practices. So I want to stress that when teams are put together in the corporate world, that the majority of the time you don't know each other. So I'm going to bring an example up of when I was a civil engineer. So as a civil engineer, we were just one component of getting a project to work together. So there you had the architect, then you'd have the civil engineer, you have the mechanical engineer, you have the village engineer working on the team as well, right? You would have, and many times, electrical engineers, right? You'd have a construction manager. So you have all these different people collaborating on the design together and bringing up their expertise. So how this benefits is it shares the workload and responsibility, broader diversity in knowledge and skill. So everybody had an expertise that they brought to the table. It was more productive brainstorming. I will say the one funny thing is when we were working with architects as a civil engineer, we always like to make our corners like just a square, right? Just a 90-degree edge. And architects would always get all fancy and try to make things all like unique and these crazy lines, which we came in and saying like that's going to cost more to build, and the equipment, we don't have the equipment to build that, but the architect wants it to look more aesthetically pleasing. So really the compromise between the two fields is ideal. The chance for leadership and personal satisfaction, a sense of belonging to a successful process, and the ability to accomplish more than if the work is done independently. So when you're developing a team, the first step is to identify the team's mission. So what does the team have to do? How will the team accomplish these tasks? What information is needed? And what resources are available for the team? So the team's mission for our Project Lead the Way classes really revolve around our design process, and that you would go through each step of the design process based on your initial design brief that you'd be given to solve the problem. Step 2, team members would establish group norms. So what these are is developing guidelines, protocols, or rules that your team will abide by. You'll establish norms as a team through consensus, regulate proper and acceptable behavior by and between team members, and commit to follow these rules. Personally, I think in high school, one of the toughest parts of a team is knowing that your teammate's going to complete the work. I think we often get put in teams and, you just worry about, is that team member actually going to do the work to my satisfaction? Like, I want to get an A in class, but team member, Johnny, he doesn't care. So is he going to do the work? And is that going to hold me back from getting an A? So that's where establishing these team norms is really important. And it's important for everybody to be on board. So when we establish our group norms, we are going to create a list of norms by brainstorming with teammates. So first you just get a long list. Analyze each norm and discuss its impact on the team and the overall goal. You'll then identify key norms that everyone has come to a consensus on, and establish consequences if norms are broken. In the real world, if norms are constantly broken, you get fired. So that's pretty straightforward in real society. In school, though, if a group member is not following the team norms, I think that's when you have the teacher step in and figure out what's going on with that other student. So some typical group norms input from all team members, team meetings and schedule and project timeline, communication protocols. So that would be, are we going to email? Are we going to Zoom? Are we going to Skype? What kind of communication is going to be our normal? Any conflict resolution protocols? And a copy of these established norms must be provided to each team member. We actually do this as a school if we ever get together as teachers to start a new initiative or to try to tackle a problem at our school. We do establish team norms at the beginning, and it just helps set the right tone as we move forward as a group. Step 3 in developing a team is going to be to identify team members' strengths and weaknesses. Team members list individual talents, skills, and limitations. From there, team members can identify job responsibilities. Each team member's strengths are a support mechanism for the other team's members' weaknesses. So what I would say, for example, here is some of us have awesome engineering notebooks, right? Like our engineering notebooks are neat, they're thorough, organized. We're really good at doing hand sketches. And then other people would say, that's not my strength, but I'm really good at Inventor. Like I really understand the file saving process. I know how to share my files. I'm really good with using Google Docs or Google Drive. So everybody would have a strength to bring to the table. And we want to make sure we play up on people's strengths. That is all on team norms.